even though the Tigers reclaimed the ACC, everybody's talking about Florida State. Everybody's on the Florida State bandwagon. They impressed everyone. They're going to be, Pigskin, they're going to be everybody's chic pick for 2023 to win the ACC. And I know you hate to bring this team up into the conversation as well, but I got to go there. South Carolina wins for the first time in forever. Notre Dame's got kind of some strange relationship to Clemson now, just because they've got this attachment to the ACC, and Clemson owns the ACC, and Notre Dame wins that game. So you've got attacks coming from all different areas. I love it.
Mark, I'm not the same college football fan as most of the people you see on YouTube. You know that already. And I hate Florida State. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I hate Florida State. I hate NC State. I hate South Carolina. I hate Ohio State. You guys know that's about my 4 top teams that I hate the most in all of college football. But I also am a fan of the sport in itself. And I also want to see compelling games, especially throughout the ACC every year. So to me, Florida State and Clemson, as far as a conference rivalry over the past, whatever it is, 20 years or so, at least, longer than that even, going back into the 90s, has been one of the best rivalries conference-wise in all of college football. And so to see the demise of Florida State, the way that Jimbo Fisher left there, the state of the program, and everything that's been along with that, and the fact that, honestly, outside of maybe 1 or 2 years over the past 6 years, there hasn't been much of a competitive nature between the two teams, Florida State and Clemson. And so I actually, in some weird way, am excited about the fact that Florida State's looking better than they have been, Now, I think that people are jumping the gun a little bit as far as Florida State becoming the preemptive favorite in 2023 to take over the conference. You can't take away what they've done, but we need to see consistency here. We need to see, more than one great year. And if I'm a Florida State fan, I'm looking at this year and I'm going, that's a great year. That's actually kind of disrespectful, isn't it? A little bit. I mean, based on the pedigree of Florida State, especially Florida State in the ACC. So, but I am looking forward to a better rivalry between Clemson and Florida State. I'm looking Clemson and South Carolina. I'm looking to a better rivalry between Clemson and Notre Dame, even though they're a fake ACC team. They run around masquerading like they're independent, but they're not really. They're really an ACC team in disguise, taking advantage of that. Taking advantage of that angle. I get that. But to me, I want to see competitive games, because all we hear, Mark, and all we have heard for a long time now is that, Clemson schedules weak every year. Look at the teams they're playing. Florida State, South Carolina, it's like, no, I want Clemson to go out there and beat good teams. That's what I want. I don't want Clemson to skate through a bad conference, make their way into the playoffs, and then get beat like we saw in 20 and 21. Right?
My take on Clemson's scheduling, I have always defended Clemson's approach to scheduling, because I figure, number one, they can't help the ACC. The ACC is what the ACC is. It sucks to a certain extent now. It was really good in 2016. It's been up and down. So they have no responsibility, no control over that. And they go schedule South Carolina, their in-state opponent, which, again, South Carolina, Steve Spurrier, really good. South Carolina, more recently, Will Muschamp, awful. They can't control that. They got to play that game. And then they usually schedule somebody else, Auburn, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, somebody else. So they're packing on 2, Power 5 opponents. So they do their part.
Well, I'm not going to be as cocky as Pigskin Pete over there with that ugly ass Clemson helmet back behind him back there. No, Pete, listen to me for a second. He is 100% correct. Pigskin Pete is 100% correct in what he just said. Everything he just said is 100% correct, because Florida State is going to come in. Mark hit the nail on the head. Florida State's going to come in as the sexy pick. Florida State's going to come in as the team everyone thinks is finally going to dethrone Clemson. What scares me as a Florida State grad and as somebody who covers this team is this starting to smell a lot like the offseason before 2017. Remember that Florida State came in the 2016 season, got 10 wins, beat Miami, beat Florida, beat Michigan in the Orange Bowl that season. And then in the 2017 season, there were high expectations. And what happened? They got blown out in the opener by Alabama. Now, I'm not comparing that Alabama team to the LSU team that Florida State will play in the opener this season, but it's along those same lines. To me, Clemson is still, without a doubt, the top team in the ACC. They are the big dogs in the ACC, and Florida State is the second best team at this rate right now.